Hello and welcome to No More Shame. Today I have a good friend of mine, Jordan Jasmine, on to tell us his story. So I'll turn the time right over to him to go ahead and introduce himself and tell us his story.
All right. Well, thank you for having me here, Dillon.
You're
It's good
welcome.
to see you, man. Let's see. I don't even know where to start. So I'm Jordan, 27 years old, and I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I am gay. So I come from a family of 12. I'm number 11, and my whole life I kind of just followed the footsteps of my own brothers and other siblings, and I kind of had this idea in my head of like who I would become like when I got older. And once I got to this realization of, oh, okay, well, I think I might be gay. Like once those thoughts started coming into my head, I started to worry and like didn't know what I was gonna do from there, and didn't really know how to talk to anyone about it, because I grew up hearing that homosexuality is a sin, and it's like, all right, well, I obviously can't act on these things because that would be sinful. Maybe this is just normal and this happens regularly, but I'm still embarrassed and I feel ashamed to even bring it up to anyone, because at that point I hadn't heard of any stories of people in the church trying to make it work out.
Yeah.
And but I've gotten to a point in my life where I've come to accept that part of me, and it's taken me a long time to get to that point. And I can happily say now that I am confident where I am with the church and just with my sexuality, and I'm just living the best life that I can right now. I don't know, like, what else do you want me to talk about?
Well, I guess, if you don't know, we can just ask some questions, and if that's
let's go.
easier for you to kind of tell more of the story. So how old were you, I guess, when you first realized, when you started having those feelings?
Let's see, I was, when I first recognized those feelings, I was probably in my teenage years. But when I look back, I've picked up on other signals when I was probably around like 9 or 10, and I was like, okay, how did I not pick up on those earlier?
Yeah.
And then, again, I just didn't know how to talk to people about that, and just didn't bother like asking for any advice at the time, because it was just like, this is weird that I'm thinking about this stuff, but I'm just gonna go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah, well, especially even like a decade ago, it wasn't as, people were still kind of like, it's taboo to be this way.
Yeah.
So I get why it'd be harder. Who was the first person that you ever came out to?
So the first person I came out to was my mission president.
Oh, so you were on your mission when you... Okay.
So I had gone out on my mission, and I didn't know, like, I thought by being out on my mission, like, God would just, like, take this away from me. He's like, all right, Jordan, you're doing good. Here, I'll cut this part out of your life so you don't have to worry about it anymore. But, I feel a lot of people in my shoes kind of follow that same pattern. And they're like, oh, I can go on mission and all, I won't be gay anymore. And, you find out the hard way that it's not going anywhere. I was about 9-10 months into my mission where I just hit some really bad like depression, and I knew I needed to talk to someone about it. And so I had an interview with my mission president, and I brought it up to him, and I brought it up in the form of a conference talk that had been given about 6 months prior, and I read this section of the conference talk that talks about a friend of I believe it's Neil Anderson, I think. Yeah,
One
I
of
believe,
the apostles.
yeah, I believe he was the one that gave the talk. I always mix it up, but I'm pretty sure it's Elder Anderson. And so anyways, I read this portion of the talk to my president, and he asked me, it's like, oh, okay. He was surprised, wasn't expecting it, and it was really just heart pounding, and because I was like, I haven't come out to anyone, and here I am coming out to my mission president. Like, I feared that he was gonna send me home because of it, and he had asked me, just like, all right, well, like, is this something I need to worry about? And I was like, well, I've never done anything in that regard, and he's like, all right, well, then, like, just keep doing you. And he had I believe she was some type of therapist or that would call me every, once a week for the next, couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of, I opened up to her a little, but it was still really weird for me because this is a whole new area to talk about that I hadn't talked to anyone, and I'm talking to some complete stranger now about it. But then over the mission, I came out to a couple more people, one of them being one of my very close companions who had become like a brother to me. And I remember he had asked me, because he wasn't sure about everything that was going on. He knew I was talking to some therapist, but one night he just sat me down and was like, what is going on? And I remember sitting there for, I'm pretty sure it was a good at least 10 minutes of just silence, because I didn't know how he would see me. And when I came out to him, he just looked at me and was just like, wow, that's awesome. I was like, what? Because I wasn't expecting that kind of response.
Yeah.
And it's because of that moment is how I feel I became that much more comfortable later on when I came out to my family and my friends. Because of that single moment, I realized that it's not this whole black and white picture of, oh, you're either accepted or you're not. And a lot of the time I thought I wouldn't be accepted because of it. And again, because of that moment, I felt the courage to come out to everyone else later. So.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, I'd be super nervous talking to someone else, especially never talking to anybody, but then telling your companion, because you don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
But so, and then talking with your family and friends, did anyone else? Has anyone ever been almost like, ugh, or why, Jordan, or upset about it with you, or has it been pretty, for the most part, has it been pretty, you tell people and they're just like, oh, that's great?
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've only had a couple of instances where people questioned it.
Yeah.
But overall it's been good, positive vibes. There was one other person I came out to on my mission, and another companion I came out to, and he, I feel like he became a little, he became worried, I think. And
yeah,
I remember that following transfer, he was transferred because I believe he had talked to my mission president about it. And so I'm not sure how he felt. I never really got that insight from him.
Mm-hmm.
And after, when it comes to my family, I had one family member who, it wasn't a negative response, but it was a response that it took me a minute to really process. She had asked me if if she could trust me like around like her kids. And my first thought was, well, I mean, because she had 2 boys, and she had asked, well, this whole, oh, he's gay, he must be like a pedophile, and it's just, no, that's not how it works. Just because my sexuality is something else than what you had seen it as before doesn't mean that I'm like a different person.
Yeah, and you're still Jordan.
Yeah, and so it did bother me, and I know that kind of thing happens to a lot of people, and a lot of aunts and uncles who come out like are restricted from seeing their nieces or nephews or other kids that their parents fear will be hurt by that person in some way or another. And I don't know, it's a mindset that needs to change. And
oh yeah,
so yeah, but again, those were probably like the worst ones that I had. Like aside from that, everyone else has been very just loving and open, and just, Jordan, we still love you, still care about you, like this doesn't change the way we see you. And so again, I'm blessed for that.
Yeah, that's super cool, because you hear stories and it doesn't always go as great for other people.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you've had that, and only a few experiences where people were kind of like,
yeah.
So growing up then, and having these feelings and such, when you would watch, like sometimes, especially in like the 90s and early 2000s, they'd have gay characters in a show, and they'd always have this lisp or something like that. They portrayed gay characters in a certain light.
Yeah.
Did it ever make you feel like that's how you had to be, just like that, or do you kind of hate how they used? I mean, I'm sure you do. You don't appreciate how it's been portrayed in films and TV. It's gotten better, I think.
Yeah, it has. It has gotten a lot better, and that was something in my earlier years. It didn't really bug me too much because I still hadn't accepted that side of myself and identified myself with those characters. But looking back, it is something that I feel gay characters are portrayed as like a very comical thing in movies, and for that reason alone, it portrays people in real life like, I don't know, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but people get this vision of how gay people are, and so when they meet other people that break that stereotype, it's like, that's like, you're gay, like, okay, and because they have this vision in their head that, oh, gay characters have to like, use a lot of hand motions or talk super high, or only friends that they have are girls, and
they love shopping.
Yeah, they love shopping, and it's no, like, gay people are like everyone else. Like, they vary from the feminine side to the masculine side, and I've met plenty of gay people that love sports and are very masculine, and just the complete opposite of what is portrayed in entertainment. And I feel now they are getting a better portrayal now, and it's helping bring a different perspective to other people. And I know that some people are kind of like disgusted by it, because it's like, oh, you're just trying to shove like your side like down our throats, like you're just trying to get us to see this and that, and well, we're just looking for equality, and if we have to really throw it out there pretty aggressively for some time, then that's what we'll do in order to like get that balance. And and I feel like it is finally starting to kind of balance out a little, But, there's still a lot of criticism and stigmas from those that just don't understand. So.
Yeah. I think it's gotten better. It's still there's room to improve. But being gay and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ, I'm sure a lot of people question that and wonder how you make that work.
Yeah.
So how do you make that work? What do you tell people who maybe question that?
So that's been one of the biggest struggles out of all of this. And, because once I did finally accept that side of me, I then came to, this crossroad of, all right, now I have to choose this side or this side. Which one am I going to do? And, for someone in my shoes, it's very just heartbreaking because you're expected, this community expects you, all right, well, you either give up the beliefs you've grown up with to, pursue love, or you stay with your beliefs and give up on the idea of having someone in your life.
Yeah.
And it's just this double-edged sword. You can't, you have to lose one, is what people make it seem like, when for other people, they don't have to choose that. They get both. And I've come to a conclusion to where it's you know what, I know that Heavenly Father loves me, He understands me, and if His love is anything like my own family, I feel that I'll be accepted for choosing to be with someone that I care about. I have a hard time imagining Heavenly Father being oh, Jordan, sorry, you can't come here because, well, you chose to be with someone that you love. And it's okay, well, what about them? They chose that too. And I don't know, it's really, I don't know how it'll be after this life.
Yeah.
And I just have come to this inner peace that I've had to accept for myself that, I don't know what the future holds, but I also know that I don't want to go through this life alone. And I don't want, to end up hurting myself because I feel like I have to choose, the church or, having a partner. And that's kind of what I tell people. It's a huge mess, but I've accepted that, that I don't know all the answers, but this is what I'm going to do. It's not going to be easy, for sure. I will be criticized for my decisions, but, I've also know that people shouldn't judge what they don't understand. And that's just something people have to accept, is that people will make choices that they don't fully understand either, because I still don't fully understand this whole situation, and I'm just taking it day by day and making the best out of it. At the end of the day, I just want to be happy, and
that's what you deserve.
Yeah. And so I'll go to church, and when I have a partner, I'll take him to church too, and just hope that those people, the members of the church, will be open to that idea and will accept us there and treat us like everyone else.
That's what we all want. If
Yeah.
you're treated equally, right?
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you've and you said it's a day by day process, but you're figuring out a way to make it work. Because honestly, I don't know what I would do if I was ever in that situation. Where it's like, because like you said, it's kind of portrayed, or it's been like you're in the church, or you choose that you want to love somebody who loves you, and you're not part of that. So I think it's cool that you're working to find this balance between both of them. So I think that's really cool. What advice would you give to somebody else who's in the same boat as you are, who's in the same position that you've gone through?
Yeah. So I know that everyone has, their own story and their own struggles, and those in my shoes, like, I could tell you to follow the same steps that I'm doing, but I know that may not be comfortable for a lot of them. So my advice would be to, keep it open as an option, but at the same time, just find out what makes you happy. Because I know that there are some that are gay and in the church, but have chosen to just stick with the church. And if that's what makes them happy, then they can do that. There's some that leave the church, and, that's okay too. Like, if that's what they want, then let them do that. And because at the end of the day, that we're not the one that makes the choices for them. They're the ones that make those choices for themselves. And we just have to learn to love those people. So this isn't just for those in my shoes, but also for those who know people in these situations, to just learn to accept them and their choices that they make and support them. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as they're not hurting someone else, then I feel that we should support those decisions that they make. And just keep moving forward. Take it one day at a time. We don't know all the answers right now, and can't expect to know them. So just find comfort in the unknown, you could say.
I like it.
So.
And I like that you included, it's not just, your advice wasn't just for those who are in the same situation as you, but those who know someone in that situation. Because it's just as important for, as you've been saying, we gotta accept everyone for who they are. So I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you coming today.
Of course.
So again, this is Jordan. I'll attach his Instagram down below so you can find him there. And he also has his own YouTube channel. Is it just called Jordan? Is there a channel name?
Yeah, it's just Jordan Jasmer. You can just type in my name. It should come up. It's gay and Mormon are the name of my videos. And you can follow me there. If any of you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And I'm here to, help bring together the LDS Church and LGBTQ community, because I am tired of the drama between the two, and I just want to focus on love between the two. And that's what both sides preach. And
God's
first,
the greatest commandment, he says, right? So, thank you again, Jordan. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, comment, and again, if you have any questions for Jordan or want some advice or anything, feel free to reach out to him. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day.